Hey guys, and welcome to my gun tutorial After Effects thing with my obligatory side of the desk shot. I do not have a desktop, I have a laptop because I'm cheap. Anyways, I'll be showing you how to do the gun shot. Alright, let's get into the tutorial. Welcome to my After Effects tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at how to do this. We're going to start by creating a new composition. Right? Regular settings. Duration is random. Just set that to 30, I guess. Okay, and I'm going to name it Gun Tutorial. Okay, so in this new composition, we're gonna drag the video file here. Alright, so we're gonna find the part at which I used, and alright, so I got the thing. It's cut here. So I have this. I'm gonna trim my composition like so, dragging that thing and trim comp to work area. So now I have my gunshot here. Next, I just typed in muzzle flash and I found 2 images online. So I'm gonna drag in this one. Alright, now I'm gonna rotate it 180 degrees. Okay, that should reverse it, and I'm gonna scale it up a lot. There we go. To get rid of the black background, this will work on like any software. You press the blending mode next to track matte or whatever, and you go to add or screen. I like to use add because it's brighter. So we're gonna find frame right here. Right, so we're gonna drag right here. Let's drag a marker so we know where the muzzle flash should happen, and here we just drag it right on that, and you just go to the corner. I'm gonna make it a little bit to the side, that way it's a little bit shorter. Alright, now I'm gonna drag in the other one, scale that up by pressing S. That's a good size right there. And add. So we got our muzzle flare here. Muzzle flash flare, whatever you want to call it. It's our own custom one because we just combined 2. Wonderful. Alright, so we trim it all the way to the marker. And I like to leave, you see this one? No, not that one. This one. The one that explodes more. I'm gonna leave that one for only 2 frames. And the other one for 1 frame. Right. So I'm gonna keyframe the position of the second one, or the one at the top. So I press P, click the stopwatch, and I go here, and I'm gonna move it over. I'm also gonna go back, click the stopwatch on scale by first you press S, then you click the stopwatch on scale. That'll set a keyframe, and you want to just make it slightly smaller here. Maybe shift the position. Alright, so we have this. Doesn't look that amazing. So what we're gonna do now is, now that we have this, we're going to add a glow. So we put the glow on here and turn the threshold all the way down. Maybe like 1.2. Alright. And now we're gonna turn up the glow radius to quite a bit. Alright. That's good. Now we add a second glow effect, This time we turn threshold all the way up and increase the glow radius a lot. So I got our first glow here. You can just get all those, copy paste it onto the second one. Might need to adjust some stuff like the intensity right here, and I'm gonna increase the radius on that second one. Alright, so we got that. It's looking a lot more realistic already. Okay, the second thing, the light fall off. So we get the layer, then we add a new adjustment layer, right? And on this adjustment layer we add exposure right here. Bam. Oh, I do have the video pilot effects thing. Oh well. Alright, so we got that. Now we're gonna crank up the exposure. So that should be around what it should be. And then we're going to trim it to the marker I set earlier. And we're gonna put a mask right here. And a mask right here. There we go. And a third one down here. And one on my shirt. Maybe one right here. And another one there. Alright, so we press F on the layer. That should bring all the masked feathers things out. So the first mask on my hand, I'm gonna feather that, not that much. On my face, I'm gonna feather it. And maybe I'm gonna change it right there. Alright. Make it a little bit bigger. So there, and the third one, feather it out, feather it out, feather that out, and feather this out. Right here. Alright. So, now we got an exposure increase right there. That's already gonna make your effect thousands of times more believable than it would have been. I'm gonna trim this 2 layers down, because, well, the same length as all of the flashes. And we don't need it to last that long, so I'm gonna put a keyframe on the exposure. Sorry. And go down a little right here to a more normal level. I might increase the that's actually pretty good. And then here, just 0. Alright, so now we got a glow. That looks better. I think that's a little bit too dark. Increase the exposure more. That looks around great. Okay, to sell the effect even more, we're gonna get a new adjustment layer and add exposure again. So we're gonna make it darker, like that much darker, and then we're gonna go over here and make a silhouette figure. Right, that is terrible. Alright, on to the next thing. So we got that. Just gonna trim it the same way we did with the other layers, and keyframe the exposure to go down as, well, go up in this case, as the light decreases. 0. Alright, we got that. It's already good. Okay, there are 2 things that are missing now. The smoke. So we're gonna get the smoke here and drag in puff of smoke, stock footage. You can just find this on YouTube and download it. So I'm gonna change this to screen instead of add. That way it'll be less bright. Take off 2 frames, go here, And I'm going to change the speed to, on time stretch, to like 48. Sounds right? So change the speed. So you got this thing. Let's position it. Not add pen tool. Right. There we go. Scale it up a little. Right there. I think a little bit higher. That looks good. Alright, so we got that down. I'm gonna turn the opacity down to like 60. And I'm also going to make it so that it fades away better than it usually does. To 0 right there. And this is what we have so far. Alright, so now that we've gotten that, it looks realistic already. What I'm about to do is kinda useless. Well, actually no. Okay, what I'm about to do is add the bullet shell. So I'm gonna plop that in. I'm gonna add a fast blur right here. Make it blend into the scene more. That looks about the right size. No, I mean blurriness. Alright, that is not the right size. Alright. There we go. So this, yeah, that doesn't fit the scene at all. I'm gonna add that. That looks better. So we got this bullet shell right here. Now I'm gonna add an exposure setting. Actually, I'm gonna do a curves adjustment. Here you go. And drag that down. There we go. It's not as bright. Just making it fit the scene more. It's a little bit too yellow, so I'm gonna bring the red down. Bring the green down as well. So now we got this bullet shell here. I'm gonna drag this here at the start. And I'm gonna position it right here. I'm gonna also place this layer behind every single effect. That way I don't have to mask anything, because I'm lazy. Then we're gonna keyframe the position by clicking the stopwatch and dragging out around there. Here and in the middle, I'm just gonna add a little bit of a curve. Like that. So this isn't done very well. I'm just gonna add some keyframes for rotation. Right here. Rotate it a little. So there we go. Super subtle. Like, you would have to pay attention to notice it, sort of. Yeah, that looks super fake. Add a directional blur. What the hell? CC drizzle. Never heard of that. Alright. Directional blur on the bullet shell. So we're gonna do that and move over to the bullet shell right here and just crank up the blur length a lot. Maybe take out the fast blur, because yeah, right. So we got that. Yeah, right. I'm gonna take out the fast blur. just gonna adjust the blur direction. So click the stopwatch on direction and just adjust it so that it's always facing to the, like, horizontally. There we go. Alright, that should be good. Oh, crap. Alright. That looks semi-decent. So you won't really notice the bullet shell because of what I'm adding later. Later means now, so this is really icing on the cake. You add an adjustment layer. Okay, you add an adjustment layer and you type in particular. We're using that. It's not really needed, but in tradition with some random guy I found on YouTube, Visionary Universe, he's got those extreme uses of particular. If you go on Ren the Reaper's channel, he has this preset which I've downloaded called Embers. And we're gonna drag that onto the adjustment layer. Click OK. Alright, so now this layer is just embers here. Okay, so I added the particles. Another thing you can do is add a new adjustment layer. This time an adjustment layer, not a solid. And add turbulent displace. Everybody's favorite plugin. Alright. So you increase the amount, decrease the size to like 8, decrease the amount, starting 6. Alright, so we go to our gunshot here, and we just draw a mask around that area, and we feather it out by pressing F. 25 pixels. Alright, so we're gonna animate the evolution. Just go ahead a few frames. It should stop by then, so just gonna add 2 cycles. And if you press Control, Shift, and D, you can split a layer in half. I'm just gonna delete that top area and keyframe the opacity of the layer to disappear. I'm gonna increase the amount of distortion to around that and have it fade out to nothing. There we go. So there you have it, a gunshot effect. I'm gonna have another tutorial soon on how I did the audio for the gunshot effect. And yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Crap. Alright. Now that we finished this, beautiful, we're gonna move on to color correction. Wowie. I don't even know how long this video is gonna be. What am I doing? Alright, so we're gonna pre-comp all of this. Pre-compose. Gunny. Totally spelled that right, alright. Now we're gonna add a new adjustment layer, and we're going to add film convert. If you don't have this plugin, just use curves and whatever. I would recommend you get this. It's a really nice color grading plugin. This tutorial's probably really boring, I'm sorry. I'm gonna increase the exposure 0.01, alright. Make it a little bit more blue. 5,260. That is too blue, alright. I'm just gonna go to 5,500 and I'm gonna film settings. Just pick one of these. I'm gonna go with this one. I like it. Alright, just turn down the curve a little. I always set the grain to around 30, not to like overpower everything. And in color correction, you can increase the saturation. Usually that's pretty good. I'm gonna decrease the midtones and increase the highlights. That's what brings most of the contrast. You don't want to overdo it, or else it looks kind of weird. I'm gonna increase the exposure to 0.1. And yeah, right. I'm gonna decrease the curve on here a lot. Get more detail. So we have this now. If we open this, I think I did something. Wait, no, I set the particles to add. Okay. So we have this, right? What I do for the black bars, if you're wondering, is I just go to Photoshop, make a black, like, layer, 1920 by 1080, then go to the selection tool, and just change the selection to a 2.35 to 1 ratio, and that should be good. Okay, I'm gonna move that position down, more my head in frame. I'm gonna go for a stylistic look, actually. Make this. What about this one? I like that one. In that case, I want to make the midtones darker. And there we go. Okay, I have it loaded. And there we go. That was the gun tutorial. I will be releasing a audio tutorial for this gun tutorial soon. Yeah, alright. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I will see you guys never. Goodbye.